welcome to another exciting episode with Kid Lifestyle. My name is Sipiwe Deiker. Namhlanje we have an exciting guest. I'll allow Ubaba as introducer to our viewers and then isizoyihlaba esikhonkosini ukuthi simletheleni to the show. Onjani baba?
Hey, sawubona Mr. Dake.
Kaphile.
Yeah, kakhulu.
Ya ngizile ngithusile ngesibongo sami nkathi ngizintroduce la
Yeah.
saqala.
I was still trying to figure out how am I going to improve my Afrikaans in 2
Hayi
seconds.
asikho isidingo
Yeah,
ezuzibona.
but I see there's no need.
Yes.
Igama nguRaseli wakabaloyi.
Thank you.
Ngizalwa uMakhumalo.
Oh my dad.
It's important.
Isakazelo yasaka Khumalo.
Uyazi mfowethu umzilikazi. Umashwaba.
Hayi asibonge.
Yeah,
respect,
yimi-ke loyo.
respect. Yeah, basibonge Mr. Baloyi. All right. As you know, ukuthi this is our second episode. Yeah, Kid Lifestyle. We're here to at least unpack a few things with our guest and how they are willing to impact the viewers and the youth. So let's first start retracting kancane ukuthi Mr. Baloyi ubani exactly beside being born kwaKhumalo. Ungasinikeza a bit of your profession so that maybe nabantu babe netlunyana ukuthi silethe bani kahle kahle.
All right. I don't know how much time we have. Do we have 2 hours at least?
We can talk as much as we can.
Yeah. No. Well, the background I mean, out here, Sekasi, Daveyton,
Yeah.
like any other black person, I have my rural connection,
Yeah.
which will be in Limpopo
Oh.
and the KZN Mpumalanga in Piet Retief area.
Nice.
That's where my mother has come from. So I'm a product of a Tsonga man
Tsonga man.
and
Yeah.
a Zulu woman.
Oh, I see the cultural. It was just heritage not so long ago. We imagine asibonge.
Exactly. Actually, as if the universe has conspired because over the past couple of years, we've taken more interest to focus more on heritage.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why it has become part of me. Whenever I'm given an opportunity to introduce myself,
Yeah.
I
you
come out
always-
very clear to recognize my ancestors,
Stars,
both from my
yeah.
mother and from my father's side.
Yeah, I think it's important as Africans to retain that tribe in us because I feel like si celebrate among heritage kuphela. Mayidlulile nje we back to amapansula ubhutshwa. I understand.
Exactly.
But I like the fact that you pride yourself every time you introduce yourself into the space of public. So dive into more of your profession. What do you do?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do a lot actually. I mean, my first job before I even immediately after matric was with the then Midrand Council,
Yeah.
where with just matric, I was employed as a project manager.
Wow.
You know.
Do you think furthering your studies it's more important than matric, or even with matric you can? Because as you're saying that with just that qualification you were able to be a manager.
Yes. Yeah. Well, education is very important.
Yeah.
The reality of my life is that I mean, at the age of 12, I was already very much involved in the community, you know,
Yeah.
especially in the environmental space. So by the time I completed my matric, I had already done my first TV show. I mean, you remember back in the days, we had a TV program called Ecovision,
Oh,
which was about environmental management. And we had started the project. There's a group of young people in Davidson to say, how do we take care of the environment? You know, while still at school. Before matric, you know.
Yeah.
So that is why by the time I got this job, I had already worked with these people and they knew my passion.
Yes.
And it became easier for me to actually study environmental management.
That's one thing I've once said to my brother the other day, that we find people coming from different educational backgrounds. They would say after studying this they need maybe a 3-year experience. Where will I find it without But what I said to my brother is like, people are missing a point. In life, you need to start something. Let's say, for instance, you want to study engineering. I believe if you want to study such, you have an idea of creating something in your mind. So with the little that you have while studying, you can work on a project. That little work will add as experience towards to getting the job you actually want. So that's one thing that I've realized, and you just confirmed it that that's how you did it with just metric. Because also me, I only have metric, but the level of corporates I've been in, it will shock people with just that certification. So what I'm trying to say as the youth is watching that don't be discouraged with the little education that you have. It does play a role in your life if you put your mind to what you really want to achieve. But thank you for having to show that. And then coming back to you, as you said, you started this thing of environmental at a young age. What would you say the difference is compared to the youth now, with the youth that you were part of growing up? Do you think are we motivated enough to take such steps from a young age of 12, like you said, or we are less motivated? What would you say with the youth of now compared to your youth?
Yeah. Well, I would say, look, you guys now, you have a hell lot of things easy
Yeah,
for yourself, you know. I mean, if you look at the quality of infrastructure, the number of opportunities,
yeah,
you have a choice, you know. You have a choice, and it's worse now that in some cases, young people even get a grant for
yeah.
literally doing nothing,
Nothing. Yeah,
you know, of which in my case, you know, I mean, I had my own money, my own, about 20,000 of my own
yeah.
when I was about 14, not 15, 14,
Imagine,
15,
imagine.
you
Yeah,
know, because just to put it clear as well, that
yeah.
I did not start working in the environmental space as a post-matric activity.
Yeah.
Before I even got to matric,
Metric.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I was 12, 13. There were problems. We were part of the community. We were more active in
Yeah.
the community because, I mean, politically, I was a secretary of the youth league
Yeah.
in my area very much earlier, you know.
Yeah.
And because I'm a go-getter, I'm one of those people. If I'm given a task,
Yeah. You go get it.
I get it done. And
Yeah.
I find pains in people not taking responsibility for whatever assignment that they've been given.
Yeah.
So my case has always been that I'm given a task and I perform excellently, and because of that, I was lucky to be even selected to be part of the delegation that went to the National Youth Parliament
Wow.
in 1994.
Imagine.
And shortly after that, I mean, I was chosen as the National Youth Leader of the Year.
Yeah.
We had the man who started Soweto and Agri Cluster. May his soul rest in peace.
R.I.P.
So I received the award from him as well.
Yeah.
And then the Weekly Mail and Guardian, because of our work that we were doing
Yeah.
and the leadership that I provided in my community. They gave me the Greening the Future Award, you know. So it was just recognition, and each time you get recognition, it's more like you are being pushed
Yeah.
to another level.
So you don't believe in this stereotype? You know, our viewers, some of them believe that you need connections in South Africa to make it. Did you make it with connections along your hard work, or it was just plain hard work?
Look, I will tell you straight. I mean, there's people like the mayor of Benoni at that time, Ubra Ronikuta. He was the mayor.
Yeah.
You know, but that man, if there was a visit, high-level visit or anything, he will make a call himself to say, hey, where are you? I want to see the youth league.
Yeah.
Because he knew that if he calls me, whatever he wanted,
get it done.
Together with my collective, we will be able to get it done. So I think we made a name for ourselves. It was more special in the sense that we had to prove that we can add value whenever we're brought in the table.
Yeah.
But the culture that we have today, you have young people who come in just to be praise singers for the mayor or whatever, carry a bag, go buy ice, all those stupid things,
Yeah.
And that is why some of the people who served recently, they were like my peers.
Yeah.
And because I did not identify with such cultures, it was just something else, and it was very unfortunate that you had that culture coming in where young people had to reduce themselves to way, 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 way below acceptable level for them to be used by other people.
Thank you for that. With what you said, there's something that I'm struggling in this journey that I'm in, as with my youth peers here. How did you manage to work as a collective, as a youth, like in that manner whereby if a mayor calls you, you know how many youth to bring? How did you identify that these people will be able to back me up on everything that I do? Because nowadays, as you said, the youth wants to be credited for nothing. It's hard, honestly, to find youth that is driven to start something, because bafuna ukuthola into seyiqaliwe, the youth of today. And what I say is, I don't like the fact that every time, not to say I'm speaking for the government, but I feel also the youth is pushing like complaints to the government too much without taking the opportunities. As you said, like grants can be granted nowadays to the youth. It just needs creativity. So with your experience, do you feel the government has done enough with the youth? It's just waiting for the youth, or the government still needs to do something to bring more youth to the board?
Look, I mean, if you look at the level and the quality of support that is readily available for any young person in this country, it's plenty. All you have to do as a young person is to know yourself, be clear what you want to do with your life, because it begins with you. You can't be expecting, be it government or your mother or anybody else. It begins with you. You need to take responsibility
yourself
for your life. That's where it starts. Now, when you come to a group, you need to understand to say, well, when we come in as a group, this is your value add as a group, into the group. Because when you come as a group, it means there's a certain objective or outcome that you are pursuing that you can't achieve alone. You need to work with others.
The collective.
The collective. So you need to understand that this Deka, what is he bringing
to the table?
This other fellow carrying the camera there, is it going to help us? Beyond just posting on Facebook, or on Instagram. So you need to understand the value chain. I'll give you a classical example. In my case, I have a natural gift of being able to pay attention to details. And I have a natural gift of being able to assess situations. And then I can be able to identify this coming together can make this. And I was lucky that most of the young people that I worked with, they could recognize that. To a point that even things that I did not start, they will call me to say, hey, man, Mchana, there's 1, 2, 3 happening. What can we do? And even if when we had a problem, we knew, like, I'll give you a classical example in our youth league. We had one guy. When we knew that so-and-so is a problem, we needed donations. And we know that this one, if we go with paper, say one donation, we're starting with this program, he won't give. We know that this one is good with violence. If we get him to threaten him, to say we will not take any responsibility, he will lead when we get there to say this is the situation. And then in some cases, we know that this one will need some persuasion and negotiations. Someone else will come in. And then there's others that we know that, you know what, if you want to convince them to come on board, if you start a song, nishaya slogan, so it was one of those things that we had to understand that each of us we bring this to the table, and together, some of the skills, like myself, I don't have the gift of singing.
Yeah.
But there are some situations, if you want to win the crowd, you need someone who can start a nice song that people can connect with, and then it's burning.
Yeah.
That's really how it is.
All right, thank you for that. And then with having to work with your team as growing up, is there things that you achieved that you did for the youth that you would like maybe for the viewers to know about? Maybe like some type of youth empowerment at a certain year. Is there something that maybe you would want to pin out, or any failures also, because we learn in this journey with having to create something for the next person. If it's not achievable, it doesn't mean you didn't do. So do you have any stories like that that you might want to highlight, that regardless the complaint coming from the youth, but this is what we have done for the youth?
No, I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, for us, I mean, you must remember that you cannot separate the youth from the community.
Yeah.
The youth is part of the community.
Yeah.
So you as a young person, there's no way you can do something for you as a sector. But it's about you as young people. What are you doing to add value to your community?
Yeah.
Like in our case, I mean, for example, in Davidson, come December, one of the biggest projects that we did, and that's the one that we even took to TV.
Yeah.
Come December time and New Year,
Yeah.
we knew that young people will be going out to chop down the trees.
Yeah.
And to make what we call bonfires.
Oh.
So you chop down the tallest tree possible.
Yeah.
Because the competition is who can make the biggest fire.
Yeah.
So we realized that, because as I was studying environmental management now,
Yes.
we realized that, our community is fast running out of trees.
Yeah.
Because every year, the guys will go out looking for the biggest tree. They chop the tree down. A minute later, they realize, there's a bigger one.
Yeah.
No, this one now is left. We go for the next one. You chop this one, the next one, you realize the next one. Once you found the tree, the next thing was going around looking for the tires. So that you surround the tire, the tree with the tires all around. And then come 31st of December, as part of the New Year celebration, the bonfire is lit. And it's all burned. You can just imagine the amount of pollution.
Yeah. We're just having to burn the trees.
Exactly.
I understand. Yeah.
So you burn down not only the trees I see, but the fumes that comes and the toxics
pollution,
that comes from the tires. Because tires are made out of oil.
Yeah, and then with having cutting the trees, did you replace after the trees, or it was just cutting them, looking for the next big one and move on?
Of course, I mean, the issue there with this celebration, it was all about finding the biggest tree.
Nothing more.
Who planted the tree?
Don't care.
Who will plant the next one? There was no caring for that. Hence, we started the project to end this culture of chopping down the trees.
Yeah.
So that is a project that we first, my youth group at that time, is the first project that we worked on, and we ended that culture of chopping down the trees. You can go to Davidson today. People do burn tires like anywhere else, but there's no chopping down of trees.
Wow.
But with time, hopefully, even the burning of tires will come to an end.
Yeah, because that's one thing I've been thinking in my head, that abantu today are hard to receive certain new information, like cutting down the tree, of how important it is to you as a person. Because at that point, ungayenza for a competition, not knowing that you are harming the environment itself, because we do need a cleaner environment. But thank you so much for that. And then I just want to divert kancane. I'm looking at this book, Unity Voice. Can we speak about the book?
Oh, okay. Well, Unity Voice is basically an official publication of the Umkhonto weSizwe.
Yeah.
which is the veterans of the aligned to the African National Congress.
Okay.
So it so happens that this man, may his soul rest in peace, Mbulelo Musi.
Mbulelo Musi.
Yeah, he was my mentor.
Oh.
Yeah, he was my mentor. I first met him the day Chris Hani was shot dead. That is the first day I met him. So that will be the 10th of April, 1993. That was the first time I met this man.
Guy, yeah.
And when we met there, I mean, we received the call that Chris Hani has just been shot, and then there were comrades who were moving towards Don Park, and then I was still, you know, I think I was in grade 11 then.
Yeah.
And then I got into the transport myself. We went to Don Park.
Wow.
And when we got there was that fear that maybe the enemy can come back and attack again.
Yeah.
So they had to say, hey, Naim Shin Matot.
Where you trained.
If enemy has Wagala, Bamban. Yeah. So this man was one man who could carry AK-47, break it down like nobody's business.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, you know, and I'm looking at Tamatala, Amate, and because he was short, he's commanding everyone. Everybody's listening to him. That Kanji, you know. So it so happened that we met a couple of times again post that, and he ended up being my friend, my comrade, my confidante, and unfortunately in April, he passed away. And I felt that he's one special person who contributed a lot in shaping me to who I am today. Hence, we had to work on this special edition. And you'll see, everybody that met us in the country knew this guy.
Wow.
I mean, if you go through it, the tribute to him, I mean, this is one man who left the country, in 1976.
Wow.
He's part of the 1976 detachment. He went to Zambia, Germany, Russia for training, military training, Ghana, and then he came back just as the negotiations were starting. So part of the reason why now we're increasing our effort around heritage is to see to it that people like him, we don't forget about them, you know? Because most of the time you will come across Mandela or Tambo, because those are the common names, you know. But there's many more.
What would you say about O.R. Tambo? Not to say we're comparing him with Mr. Musi here. You know, do you think with the history that's being said about him, it's enough for it to have a day, just like Abu Mandela Day? Do you think it's enough, or what would you say comrades afana nabo it takes for them to, in your personal point of view, it doesn't have to be the ultimatum? What would you say somebody, or like you see how highly you speak of Mr. Musi? I would say you would feel like he deserves certain days. So what category would you say somebody needs to have that high caliber of a day? There's Mr. Mbulelo Musi Day.
Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of this thing of a day set aside for something.
Yeah.
Because in any case, any of these days, what do you guys do? You drink.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even talk about Mandela, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go around and say, okay, we had Mandela Day, what did you do for Mandela?
You know,
or for the community?
Drink.
Zero.
Yeah.
You know. So for me, the best way we can ever honor these great leaders, you know. And one thing about O.R. Tambo, I'm lucky to have met him before he passed on, you know. And it so happened that because he stayed in Avondale in Zambia, O.R. Tambo, and he was the father to my mentor. So Mbulelo Musi, the late Mbulelo Musi, when he saw O.R. Tambo, that was more like his father figure. Because these were the people who were in touch, who were looking after them when they were in exile. As you know, that when Mandela was in jail, O.R. Tambo is the one who was based in Zambia. And whatever O.R. Tambo was doing, Zambia was his home. He was traveling the whole world, but going back to Zambia, courtesy of the late Kenneth Kaunda and the movement that side. So I think as far as O.R. Tambo is concerned, I think we're doing very well. We're doing very well because we have the biggest airport in Africa named after him. We have one of the biggest hospital in Ekurhuleni named after him. You know? And for me, what matters right now is that instead of looking for something else to name after him, let's try to zoom in and say, who was O.R. Tambo? What did he stand for? Because you cannot have O.R. Tambo, which is the airport. You check in your bag there, flying to wherever. When you get to the other side, it has been opened, things are stolen. And then you are told that there was a heist where millions were taken at O.R. Tambo. So for me, you know, it gives me pain. You know, to a point that I think what we need to do to honor these great leaders is to say to ourselves, we need to demonstrate or show some values or some good qualities that they were about. You know, because these were not just about people who came here to claim to do anything. These, like, people like O.R. Tambo are people who were never part of government. All they know is fighting for our liberation and our freedom. And I can tell you now, having spent time with Komisa Musi, my mentor, and he explained to me what they used to go through and the mission that they had to carry to scare the enemy this side. Because it's not like Abelungu, they just woke up one day, but they were afraid to Zwagaland. So it's sharp man, just no, it was not like that. They had fears. Uguti nabo bazofa, they're gonna lose out, and there was no double up. But for them to say, afraid to Zwagaland is kulumate. Yabo? So I think and
then moving forward with youth, do you think the youth should vote this coming elections?
I mean, voting, that question for me, I don't know if even if it's a question or it's necessary. It's like asking someone that, you know, do you think you must eat for you to survive?
My man.
You know? Then again, if you don't vote, who are you going to complain to? And complain for what? You didn't vote for me. You didn't vote for nobody. So one sign of you taking responsibility just for yourself is going to vote. That's just that. You know, it's the beginning. It's a big step you can ever do as a young person. That shows irresponsibility. Not only for you, because you're also going to have kids. You know, it's not just about you, because you guys are not going to be youth forever. Very soon, some of you already have kids already. Because young people of these days, you know, you are parents as young people. So who's going to look after your children? There's grant now, which is everything that some families have. If they don't get that 350, the family is completely disorganized for the month. You know? So, and that 350, some of these opposition parties, you can see, Uguti, if they win the election, they can wake up and say, no, man, why sneakers are abandoned Malia Mahal? No. What did they do? As if it's possible. You know, so that is why you need to align yourself politically with the right political organization so that ultimately when you go and vote, you know, it's not guesswork. Like you are blind. No, you are clear, Uguti. This is the program of this political party, and you are contributing to whatever they are busy with, and you know for sure that they will deliver on it.
Because that's one thing I've realized with the youth, that just vote for the sake of voting, because angithi abazali banokukhomplayina ukuthi, as you said, ukuthi voting gives you a chance, regardless the government might take time to deliver on that service, but it gives you a person to complain to, as you said, sibabazali, as we keep growing. I understand. So, youth, what I've realized, bayenza guesswork. They're just looking for the new kid on the block, ukuthi as in, from the actual government, let's pay it. Let's just think for that sake. I understand. Ukuthi they don't give themselves that research. Ukuthi this party that they are voting for, it's actually what's its mandate about, what it is it planning to do. Because mind you, if they're in power, as you said, they might say, let's take out lama 350 amala singasabanikezi, and you voted blindly. So I hope youth it's listening lapha ekhaya ukuthi yes, sesifike kule point ukuthi as youth we lost hope on politics and stuff, but as you mentioned, there's some of our families that need the government assistance. So having to select the government, the right government for them, that will be in power, it should be something that we are aware of, as you not just selecting by guesswork. Thank you also for raising that point, because I've heard this question so many times asked, but this point of with the EU, this Jew is just doing guesswork there. It's the votes are not going at the right direction. I understand that, but thank you. We also not see as youth, since we brought you to the show, we're trying to show the youth that regardless the little things that you have, you can actually achieve something with having to start with whatever you have. As you said, you started at 12 doing the environmental stuff without no funding until you met the right people. Not we are pushing with my team, trying to find the right people. So this thing of EU to complain, not to say I'm taking any sides, but now I'm part of. It's not right to just complain without doing, because even with the employment of the youth, we find youth complaining, "Ukuthi akunamsebenzi, akunamsebenzi." But if you were to ask that person, do you have a CV? Eish, ngisayoyenza. I understand that, but the whole time they're just riding the wave, you complain. I understand. But thank you for that insight. And then what more that beside the environmental stuff that we don't know about, Mr. Baloyi?
Yeah. Maybe before you go there, I think it's important that we do justice to this issue, youth, and the importance of voting. Because right now it's election mode. Probably by May next year, we'll have the election, and everybody is out there making promises. Some have never ever been in government. They don't even have an idea what government is. You know, they can't even separate between the political office and the administration. That is the level of confusion that we witness. Hence the up and down that you see at the local government level. With mayor tomorrow, another mayor tomorrow. You know, that kind of nonsensical behavior is not what we expect at national
because it also confuses
and provincial level.
You
see, so obviously we have no desire of going back to the apartheid years. We can't go there. It's not a choice, you know. But we have these emerging parties that are trying to confuse the people. And the way I view some of these parties is not that they have any quality politics. It's just like when I'm on makhelwane ahamba ngemoto enhle sewuba nejealousy yabo sewufuna ukuthi ube neya kanti no umakhelwane mangabe uyithengile imoto enhle kumele ujabule ukuthi nawe kusho ukuthi ikhona la iduze izofika nakuwe yabo. It's an issue yokuba patient yabo, but some people they are just not patient. They're just all want to be leaders. This one is expelled there or is moved from this position
to another.
He wants a position for himself. They can't even say, okay, because now there's so many that exist, can't we just join these ones already?
Yeah, that already in the existence.
All of them, they just want to be leaders. And we just do not have enough voters to give them power other than causing the confusion up and down of changing a balance of forces in government. We don't want that. And in my opinion, I don't have any authority to speak for any political party right now, because this is my own personal view. And I believe any South African know there's a party that has been given a chance to lead. And I want to believe some of them now, they are taking a corner. They've realized some of the mistakes that they've made. And as Abantu, we don't have dustbin for family.
We don't.
We don't have dustbin for family. It's one of those things where we just have to accept that, what, mistakes were made there and there. Let's just move forward. We can't go back to someone to start tomorrow to learn what is government. What is Public Finance Management Act? What is an act? What is a blue paper? What is it's gonna take a lot of time for people to get used to. So we do have some parties that have been tested with power. And I think they can do better this time around. Because the cry from the people is clear.
It's clear.
Yeah, the cry is clear. Maybe get post this 2024, that's when we can see that, okay, no, definitely they're not listening. But from where I am sitting, having spoken to some of the people who are in government, the cry of the people is clear. And you can see with some of the interventions that they've come up with that are beginning to make a difference. They are responding to what people are crying for.
But don't you think it's because we are towards close the date of elections, with them making those moves or delivering whatever the cry that's coming from the people?
No, but remember, the shift and change that I'm talking about is not something that started yesterday or 6 months or 3 months. A year, 2, 3 ago, there have been some serious changes. Actually, for the past 3-4 years, there have been some serious fundamental changes that begins to tell you that even the narrative is changing. But it so happened that the media in the country is in the hands of wrong people. And most of the people who know better, they are not able to explain. And it can also be that we don't have passionate spokespeople who are really out there to explain to the communities, this is the program, this is what is happening. Because it's not like there's no solution for any problem that we have. I know for a fact that there are solutions that are being provided to solve all these problems that we have.
Thank you also for raising the media point, because one thing I've realized, the media with this whole thing plays a big role. Because how is it so this government that we under is still in power, but the media makes like 90% of people are complaining. So but thank you for that. Anything else as we're moving forward about Russell Baloyi that you would like to tell our viewers, even the youth, whatever projects that are in store for them going forward? Is there anything like that?
Well, I think what I will speak about is what I'm busy with right now. As you would know, October is OR Tambo month. So since it's OR Tambo month, I'm actually the executive director of a trust called EcoCity Trust, which really focuses on the conservation of our environment and heritage. So part of what we will be doing this month later on is that, as you would know, on the 24th of October is Independent Day, more like our Freedom Day
Yeah.
here in South Africa, in Zambia now, you know. And you know, the relationship between Zambia and South Africa goes a very long way.
Yeah.
So we will be having this workshop and celebration, you know, of our liberation struggle, and starting to ask the question, how do we move from a liberation
Yeah.
struggle to talk about sustainable development
Okay.
that touches young people and all other sectors of our society. So that's really what we are working on now. But what is special about it is that as much as it is OR Tambo month,
Yes.
we have realized that we don't know what's happening on the other side. But the rate at which we try celebrate one leader above the other,
yeah.
it might be that we are causing problems for
Yeah.
them on the other side. They might be arguing that, hey, can't why are they mentioning you too much?
Yeah,
They
just like
not,
I did the
you know.
example, yeah.
Yes. So this month we'll be celebrating our Tambo month, and me, um, because I'm from Eguruleni, and one
Yeah.
of my leader, his birthday is also in October, is Chris Lamine.
Oh,
Yeah, he was
small.
an ambassador of South Africa in China. He's actually the mayor of Ekurhuleni that we never had,
Yes.
in my opinion. So we'll be celebrating him as well. We'll also be celebrating Comrade Mbulelo Musi.
Yes.
We'll be celebrating actually our liberation struggle heroes, and asking the question, now that we are done with the liberation struggle, we are in freedom now. How do we then move forward and talk about sustainable development?
Yes.
There are some very, very good artists, professional artists that I've been speaking to.
Yeah.
Some of them, I was very disappointed when I hear how much they get paid. I mean, these are like professional artists. I mean, if they show you their catalog, I did this with Yuma Sigela, I did this with Maralo, with this, with the, and then
how much you get paid, yeah.
So I was touched by that, and we said, look, maybe we'll bring them on board as well.
Yeah.
They will perform, and we'll see how do we move forward.
Yeah, because also our channel, we also push that with also other guests who are expertise with the music industry, with having to teach artists on how to rate themselves. Because like now with this journey, I've met a lot of people where I got shocked. With this person, like you thought their rating is proper with the catalog that they fall on, only to find out it's because of lack of educational information of what they do. So now we try with other episodes where we bring people to talk on art, because what we have seen also with art in South Africa, for especially youth, it's not really being monetized like that. And art itself, it plays a big role, economic factor in South Africa. You understand? Just like we were at the night with the stars, our legends, the Kwaito legends. We saw the arena, the history that they've made with music, that they play a certain economic com or bracket in the country. So it's fundamental for artists to know that information. And then with another thing that I want to ask for the youth, most youth, as we spoke earlier prior, you spoke of grants. With your sector, how would people find funding, like who are watching the episode? Just a quick way to, not to say quick way because it will sound wrong if I say quick way to find funding, but what's the best way for the youth to get funding? It could be any sector, your sector, which is environmental or art history, with your expertise or what you have learned in this game. I don't want to say game, but I'll choose to use that. But what would you say they need for them to be considered for funding, in if they do apply?
Yeah. Look, I'll answer that, but also looking at what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Around the economics.
Yeah.
Of art, and the rating of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality of it is that that's where you see that capitalism is bad. Hardcore capitalism is bad. Because that's why even yourself as young people, you must just be careful that you don't become hardcore capitalist. Capitalist. I have a friend. I mean, he claims to be a billionaire. I mean, he claims to be a billionaire. Actually, I don't consider him a friend anymore.
Yeah.
Just because he's a hardcore capitalist, and from his world view and how he do things, you can see this is someone. If even a family member, he was to make money in an auction, he will put them up.
Ooh, that's bad.
So in all you do, you need to have some values.
Okay.
That guides you and some principles, so that you're not just chasing money.
Yeah.
You're not just chasing money, because you'll make the money and then what? Okay. Buy a car, get few women, and then what?
And then what? Yeah.
And those are some of the things that will probably shorten up your life.
Yeah.
So for me, what really matters is that you need to get closer to your subject matter. Be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like, be really passionate. And then you ask yourself, sometimes when you do something, because sometimes you do find yourself doing things just to raise money. Be clear that this is not really, my hustle.
Yeah.
This is my side hustle for me to be able to come back.
Yeah, to do this.
To do what I want to do, Because ultimately, if you do what you want, the money will follow you.
Yeah.
Either way, because you're bound to be the best. You're bound to be the best.
Yeah.
You just have to keep on doing it, and you will know the difference you bring to the table. You will know the value that you it's like you guys. You know amongst yourselves that if this one is not here, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Or we're going to, it might happen, because sometimes you don't want to make people to feel like they're God.
Yeah.
But if they are good, they are good. You need them. But I think you need to master your craft to a point where you are clear on the value you bring to the table. And on the basis of that, anyone, because all these funding proposal, all they are trying to say is to say, okay, what are you going to do with this?
Yeah.
If you need money, okay, you need money. This budget, it's there, but for what?
For what? Yeah.
What difference is it going to make?
Yeah. All right, then. Thank you. I hope viewers are listening at home. Thank you so much. And to wrap it up, I just want to thank you from the team also, for you coming to our set and having this chat. I understand that. But thank you. I hope my viewers are mamele. My name is Sipiwe. Taker. Another episode Emnandi Kid Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you.